closer to my dream. I'm getting higher, closer to my dream. I'm getting higher and higher, feel it in my sleep. Sometimes it feels like I'll never go past here. Sometimes it feels like stuck forever, ever. But I'm going high, closer to my dream. I'm going higher and higher. I can almost breathe. Sometimes you just have to let it go. Let it go. Leaving all my fears to burn down. Push them all away so I can move on. Closer to my dreams.
Good evening, Love and Money Radio family. This is Connie S. Falls with the Melting Pot Radio Network, and I'm so happy to have you guys with me again for another show. Happy Tuesday, everybody. So, I'm going to talk about a couple things before we have our amazing guest, Miss Dayna Thomas, on tonight. 2017 is almost here. This is like really it. It's the end of the year. Have we finished our goals? Did we do any of our resolutions? Did anybody lose weight? Like, what have you accomplished this year? Have you done any of the things on your list that you said that you were going to do? We all make vision boards and have vision board parties and write down all these amazing goals, but we also have to make sure that we're checking these goals off the list. That's why it's important to make a list. That's why it's important to write down your goals so you can see yourself accomplish things. The reason why we have scales and such is so that way we can see the progress of us losing weight. The excitement that we feel when you put on those jeans that are too tight, and you can feel the difference in how much less you've been eating cookies and cupcakes, which is my weakness, but whatever. That makes you feel better. It's just like checking things off of your goal list. So if you have a list that you started at the beginning of the year that's not posted on your wall like a vision board or somewhere in your face every single day, I challenge you to take out that list tonight, like as soon as you get off the phone, as soon as you get off this show, tonight or right now. Walk around, go find it, and look at that list and find out what things that you have yet to accomplish. The end of 2016 has not come yet. You still have plenty of time, as in like 24 more days, 25 more days. You want to focus on Christmas and buying gifts and spending money and making sure there's things under the Christmas tree. We need to make sure that our goals are set. And once you look through that list and find out that there's some things that you haven't completed and you don't have time to do it at the end of 2016, let's move it on over to 2017. Start setting realistic goals. Goals that you can actually see. Some people set goals that are too lofty. Like if I say, oh my God, this is how much I weigh right now, and in 2 months, I'm going to weigh 60 pounds less. That's not realistic. I mean, unless I'm doing some kind of illegal substance, it's just not happening. We have to set realistic, achievable goals that we know that we're going to need God in order to attain. Now, I know that I have a goal of running a nonprofit between here and Nigeria. However, it's kind of lofty, but it's realistic. Set realistic goals for yourself, the ones that you can actually see yourself achieving. Literally see yourself achieving. And there's people that I love. David Shantz, hey honey, thank you for the text. There's that really are great at helping you reach those goals. He is a life coach, and if you guys are looking for any coaching services, please contact Mr. David Shands. You can find him anywhere, sleepersforsuckers.com or Sleepers for Suckers on Instagram. I'm phasing myself out of the coaching world. I do have a few clients that I'm keeping on, but you have people like David that are still here to help you. Our guest tonight is going to be Miss Dayna Thomas. Miss Dayna, are you on the line?
I'm here.
Hi, Miss Dayna. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Connie?
I'm doing amazing. I'm so happy to have you on. How are you this evening?
Oh, it's been a great day, very productive day. I was looking forward to my conversation with you. So I'm good. I'm really good.
Yay, that's awesome. So I'm going to get right into the questioning and get right on into this interview. So
Sure.
One of the first things that I like to talk about with people whenever I have guests is where you come from. Because most of us tell our story. We start, well, when I was young or when I was a kid or growing up, this is how I became the person that I am. So I'd love to hear about, what was life growing up for you as far as where you're from and kind of just giving us an intro into who you are.
Absolutely. So I am from Brooklyn, New York. I grew up with my older sister. I have two sisters. And so I grew up with my older sister, lived with my mom, spent a lot of time with my dad. And we moved out to actually Long Island when I was 10 years old. And so when I was younger, that's actually a big part of my story, like you said, because I do practice entertainment and entrepreneurship law. But, just starting when I was younger to even have the idea of being a lawyer in my head came from when I was very small, probably like 4 or 5 years old, because I guess my personality was a big personality, always wanted to get my point across when I was younger. And I would always hear by, family members and family friends that Dayna was going to be a lawyer. Dayna, you should be a lawyer. And so, at that time when I was younger growing up, I never really knew what that meant until I got older and started to really look into what that meant to be a lawyer. And so I started to study that a lot more when I got into high school. And yeah, that kind of was in my head for a very long time since I was younger. So it kind of started from when I was 5 years old up until now, made the dream come true. But I had a great childhood. I was very active in the arts. When I was younger, I was a dancer. I used to sing in church choirs. I even auditioned for Broadway. And so that's how the entertainment kind of came into my blood. And then so when I knew that I wanted to be a lawyer, but I didn't want to leave my love for the arts, that's how I married the two for the entertainment law piece.
That's genius.
Yeah, that's how it started. Yep.
That's genius. So what did your support system look like? Because for people to say, oh my goodness, you should be a lawyer, it's a lot of fees that come along with becoming a lawyer.
Yeah, definitely. So school was something when I was growing up, honestly, that was never very hard for me. It was very easy for me to get A's because I was so motivated within myself. My mom never had to pressure me about grades or school. I just always wanted to do and be my best. So knowing that I wanted to go to law school, I at least had that piece down pat. When it came to the LSAT, actually, the LSAT is the exam that you have to take, in order to go to law school. I actually did not do well on the LSAT, and I took it 2 times. And so I often tell that story because people get discouraged when there's something that doesn't go perfectly or doesn't go right for what you feel like is meant to be for your life. And if I would have taken that LSAT score, which really wasn't bad, I really probably shouldn't even gotten into Emory with that LSAT score. But if I had taken that and used that to discourage me, then I wouldn't be where I am now. So of course I had a really good GPA, horrible LSAT score, but I used the other skills that I had in order to get into the school of my dreams. So it definitely wasn't easy to get there. Financially, had to use, financial aid and different things like that. But I definitely believe in using all of your resources and doing whatever it takes to achieve your dreams and, not letting money or fear or anything else stop you from pursuing something great.
Wow. Okay. So growing up, so we've made it kind of through high school where GPA was great. And then what did that process look like for you?
In high high school.
After high school, going into
After
college.
high school, yeah. So I came from Long Island to go to Georgia State University in Atlanta, and I had never been to Atlanta before. I knew I wanted to pursue entertainment law, like I said, and so during that time when I was a senior in high school, I went to Baldwin Senior High School in Long Island. Atlanta was just like great for like the entertainment scene, for music, for film. Like the movie ATL had just came out, and like the music started coming out. Like I think the song "Walk It Out" was really big in New York. It was during that time, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to Atlanta. I've never been there before, but I know that I want to be in the entertainment industry as a business professional. So I actually applied to Georgia State, got a scholarship to go in, and my first time ever in Atlanta was orientation. And so I was 17 years old, starting school in a completely different state. I didn't have any friends or any family in Georgia, the whole state, or even, nearby. But I knew what I wanted to do. And even though it took me a good 2 years to get over homesickness, from not being in New York, I stayed because I knew that there was something bigger for me here and that my work wasn't done. I don't like quitting or, even though I was very close to transferring to going back to New York, actually. But something in me just said, like, Dayna, don't quit. Don't give up on Atlanta. Don't give up on what you said that you were going to do. And so I ended up staying and got more involved in college. And after I got more involved, it became like the best thing ever. So decided to stay for law school as well.
So tell me about the college years.
Ooh, college. So when I first started, those first 2 years were very hard. Honestly, I was on the phone with my mom like every day, super sad about how things were so different. I had a much stronger New York accent, and everywhere that I was going, people would say, "Oh, where are you from? Where are you from? Are you from New York?" And all these different stereotypes about New Yorkers. So I dealt with that for a few years when I first got to college. But like I said, I think the key for me to getting more comfortable with college and being in a different state was getting involved. So I joined my business fraternity, which I'm still very active in right now. It's called Alpha Kappa Psi. And so I joined the business fraternity, taught me how to be a business professional. It was a great organization, a great group of members. We call each other brothers. So it was a great group of brothers that was kind of a home away from home for me. I was also very involved in the modeling agency at Georgia State. It was called Infinite Appeal. So I helped to put on 2 fashion shows at school.
Oh, look at you, all fancy.
Yeah, trying to be versatile, I was also the president of my honor society. It was called Golden Key, and that was a 300-member organization. So just doing that on its own was a big deal to manage that many people. But I don't feel like myself if I'm not busy, and not just busy, just busy work, but I need to be making a difference or impact or leading something in order for me to feel like myself. So in college, I was always that person in heels or a suit going to some meeting or, putting on some type of event, rushing across campus. That was me because I just had my hands in a lot of things. And so now as a business owner, having that background from college, it's not that hard for me to manage a lot because I started that back in my college days.
Wow. Now, we're going to just segue since we're right here talking about the college days. What advice do you give to students? Because for as disciplined as you are, most students aren't. Most people aren't that kind of disciplined. So I have a few listeners that are in college. What advice do you give them for being able to really focus in on what you want to do, no matter what your major may be?
Right. So I actually taught a class at Georgia State last week, and we talked about this. And so one exercise that I have students do is write down their goals. So something that people don't do, and even myself, I never even started writing down my goals until last year. And I've seen how productive it can make me, and also how you can use that to really bring your goals to life. So one, I have them do an exercise to actually write down your goals. So I would definitely suggest writing down your 3-month goals, your 6-month goals, your 12-month goals, as well as your 5-year goals, and write it down. And also, I think the key to that is I tell them, don't try to be realistic. Don't try to do what other people say that you can do, or what you think that you can do with your degree, or, what you've been limited to do by whatever kind of factors that you might be thinking in your head. If you could do anything in those 3 years, in those 6 months, in those 5 years, what would it be? So I really try to encourage students to take that cap off of what they think is possible. Because for me, I've learned that, starting a law firm out of law school, people thought that was